Hello ladies and gentlemen, I'm Joseph Novichkov, Senior Trading Manager with GDM. Today's outlook, we start with the Asian stocks. We're on roll on Wednesday with Japanese Nikkei 225 index at the epicenter of the monstrous rally as investors' confidence got a boost from the strong rally in offshore markets. Nikkei 225 index soars 7.7% at the Tokyo Stock Exchange. Of course, that was due to speculator comeback day after crashing 2.4% to ease gains made this year, thanks to hopes for more growth, supportive policies in the Asian economic giant. Earlier in the day, Prime Minister Shinzo Abe told a meeting of investors that he would seek to lower the corporate tax rate by at least 3.3% next financial year. The dollar, however, gained against the safe haven yen on Wednesday, boosted by a surge in global stocks on a recovery in risk appetite. The dollar was up 0.4% at 120.29 yen, extending gains from the overnight low of 118.88. But of course, a spike in US debt yields on reduced risk aversion helped the greenback. Reopening after a long weekend, major U.S. averages recovered from its second worst week of the year, rallying more than 2% each overnight. Also, looking at the land down under, the Australian's S&P 200 index, it gained about 2.1%, extending its winning streak to second straight session, with of course financials leading the charge. The Australian dollar also touched a one-week high of 0.7071, gaining about 2% over the past 2 days. The rally, however, whisked the Aussie away from its 6.5-year low of 0.6892 struck on Monday. European equities also opened sharply higher on Wednesday, boosted by positive German economic data and, of course, an upbeat mood in Asian markets. The pan-European STOXX 600 index was about 1.9% up at the open. European markets are also looking more positive following trade surplus data from the Eurozone's largest economy, which is Germany, on Tuesday, which suggested strong demand from German goods. Both, of course, exports and imports in Germany hit a record high in the month of July. The euro, however, dipped about 0.2% to 1.1177 versus the US dollar, struck in a narrow range of 1.1230 to 1.1122 range this week. Also looking elsewhere in Europe, in Britain's long history of parliamentary rebellions, David Cameron's defeat by his own side on Monday wasn't one of the biggest. It wasn't even one of the biggest in the shorter history of rebellions against Cameron. Burdened with a conservative party that's riven over UK membership in the European Union, Cameron failed to secure enough votes to, of course, enact rules related to the coming referendum on staying in the bloc. The blow was delivered by 37 members of his own party voting with opposition Labour Party, of course. The pound, however, stood little changed versus the dollar at 1.54 during the Asian session. Gold in the commodity sector held above a 3-week low on Wednesday as the dollar nursed modest losses, but prices remained range-bound as, of course, traders waited for direction from the Federal Reserve on the timing of U.S. interest rate hike. Gold had edged up about 0.2% to 11.24 an ounce by the Asian session, above a 3-week low of 11.1620 reached earlier in the week. The metal snapped a 4-day losing streak on Tuesday, buoyed by a softer dollar. Crude oil in the energy sector rose on Wednesday as Asian stocks market caught a tailwind from a strong performance in the United States and Europe, although fuel markets remained generally dogged by oversupply. U.S. West Texas Intermediate crude gained 19 cents to $46.13 a barrel after falling in the previous session. For today, The most important news in the calendar will be the preliminary GDP report for UK coming out at 14. However, traders will also focus before that on the industrial and manufacturing prediction, as well as trade balance. All of that at 8:30. That's all for today. Thank you very much for joining us. See you next time. Bye-bye.